Welcome to Business Law Academy. Today I'm going to discuss about the circumstances when a non-owner can pledge a movable product. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about what are the circumstances which a non-owner can perform a pledge agreement. What are the conditions has to be followed by the non-owner while making a pledge agreement. So this kind of things will be defined in this class. This portion is defined under section 178 to 179 of Indian Contract Act. So let's begin our class. As I told you before, in this class I'm going to discuss about explanations as well as exam questions which is related to the portions. So with all circumstances we can make a non-owner into a pledge agreement. That's the first thing we have to discuss. The first circumstances is to appointing a mercantile agent. As we all know that who is a mercantile agent. Mercantile agent is a person who act according to the instruction of the owner. So the main purpose of mercantile agent is to maintain the property which is assigned to do by the ownership itself. Usually these agents are a banking function. However, in the modern era or in this years, mercantile agents are now listing as a company. So nowadays we can see a lot of companies which are related to the mercantile agents. As per section 178 of Indian Contract Act, a mercantile agent is a who is with the consent of the owner in possession of the goods or the document of title. Here we can classify the movable goods into two. One is tangible, the other one is intangible one. Intangible we can classify again into two. The goods which we can take it by our own hands and the goods we can't take in a physical form. For example, car or bike. So for giving possession of those articles, we will just transfer the ownership certificate or title certificate to the concerned person. This is the main area or this is the main function which we do instead of giving a complete possession. So that's what here discussed. A mercantile agent is who is with the consent of the owner in possession of goods or of the document title to movable goods can make a valid pledge while acting in ordinary course of business. Such pledge is valid. Here there is an exception or a caution which is defined in this act. And that caution is such pledge will be valid even if the agent had no authority to pledge, provided that Pawnees act in good faith and has not at the time of the pledge any notice that Pawner has no authority to pledge. So even though the Pawner has no authority to pledge and the Pawnee has no idea about or no knowledge about that power or authority, in that circumstances, this pledge is valid. However, if the Pavani knows about that, the Pavanar has no authority, then it became void. So this is a particular circumstances which usually come across in this pledge by non-owners question paper. And this is an important, very important topic, because very important area also, because you in most of the question papers we can see this area or this portion. Maybe it is a case study or an essay or circumstances which we have to relate, give an opinion like that. So it's a great important one, especially that technical part. Another circumstances when is a person having possession of goods under voidable contract. A person having possession of goods under voidable contract make a valid pledge of the goods so long as the contract is not rescinded or renewed or cancelled. So, even though there is a pledge under voidable contract, it is still valid until that contract is rescinded. The Pavani gets a good title to the goods provided he act in good faith and without notice of the Pavana defect of notice, not title. Here, the only circumstances when it became valid is only when the Pavanar or when the Pavani has no idea about the defect of the title. If he has an idea, if he has knowledge about the Pavaner's defect of title, then this pledge became void. In other words, or on the contrary, if he has no idea about that the Pavanas has a defective title, still it is valid. So this is the another circumstances which led to the pledge by non-owners. The another one is where a person pledge goods in which he has only limited interest. The pledge is valid to that extent of in that interest. We all know about interest and limited interest. So just imagine you and your friend, for say B, bought a car and the B tried to make a pledge on it. So while making pledge, the Pavani can give money or lend money to B where is interest, where that much interest. In that car, B has a half interest as well as you have half interest. So the Pavani cannot lend money to the full interest of that car. He can only lend money up to the limited interest of the B or half interest of the B. So that's what we discuss in section 179. And the circumstances which lead to the if one several co-owners is in sole possession of goods with the consent of owners, he can make a valid pledge of goods. So if there is lot of owners for a one sole property, if still with the consent of the entire owners, we can make a pledge, or a third person can make a pledge who has no authority or possession or title over the property. With the consent of the co-owners, he can make a pledge. A seller in possession after sale is no more owner the goods, but a pledge created by him will be valid, provided Pavanik acted in good faith and had no notice of previous sale. So, a person who is in possession of goods is the actual owner and he made a pledge. After making a pledge, he just sell the property to another person. After selling the property, he didn't give an acknowledgement of that fact to the Pavani. In that circumstances, the pledge between that person as well as Pavani will be valid, because in the Pavani's side, he acted in good faith and had no notice about previous sale. So these are the circumstances which a third person make a contract became valid in the pledge agreement. Now let's see types of questions which is asked on this topic. The first question usually asked like this: when will a pledge made to a non-owner good became valid? It's a direct question. The answer of this question is depending upon that five circumstances. Usually it asks as a essay question, and in that essay question you have to add sections, explanations, etc. The another type of question which we can ask here is, what are the circumstances under which a non-owner can pledge goods? This is also the same answer we have to answer, that is from 1 to 5. In other words, section 178 to 179. That five circumstances we have to explain it detailing through sections. And the other question is, what are the conditions to be satisfied for enabling a mercantile agent to make a valid pledge? It's a tricky as well as a beautiful question. It comes as a essay question itself. So we have to explain section 178. The answer to this question is by the consent of the owner. Rest you have to add as per the explanation under one section 178. This portion can also ask as case study as well as indirect question.